Or I got attached to those two people. The Kopovula and the Kundawalo. My actual name is Len. Len Moton Debele. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
How are you doing?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
I'm good.
Yeah, so that's what he does. So he does. He also teaches people.
So you guys are Zulu, or you are like?
Me, I'm not Zulu. I'm Chaunda.
Also, the Zulu is your tribe.
I'm growing up with Zulu. You know, the Nguni people, Siyakuluma. Some will be coming from all countries. Ukuluma is Ndebele. So Ndebele is purely Zulu.
Yeah.
When I Kulumi Sutu Mestwan, Nega was with long Ndebele Noma Zulu. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter much.
No.
It's like a Twana and the Sutu person. Or Twana Sutu. The Sutu, I'm a Sutu. And then you Sutus and Twanas, you speak like flat, you know, that flat, fine.
Yeah, the Sutus, but even whether you're from Lesotho, they speak the same. And Tswanas, whether you're from Mahikeng or Botswana, they speak the same. And there's this Tswana, Yarona, you know, and there's this Tswana, and there's Sutu, Yakutabelo, and there's, so if I can get the quality, like the Zulus Bamo, the language is exactly.
So yeah, that's him. He has got shops around.
Johnny FM 93.6, your station.
Yup, it's not paid.
You should have sent that.
No.
You don't?
Did you check your number 6? Numbers Lucas.
Is it number 6 there?
No, this is 1.
Okay. There's only, she's gonna play 1 and 6.
I think 6 is the numbers Lucas, huh?
There's in front of us, in front of everyone, is God before everything. It's God before my ethos, it's God before my angel, it's God before whoever, my spiritual leader, whoever. So the moment, I think that's where as Africans we are failing, and that's where we are losing it. And we think, no, those ones they belong there, those ones they belong there. That's why I have a YouTube channel. It's just now I stopped. It's called Issues of Faith, where I bring people, Islamic people, Christian people, traditional people, whatever. Then we talk about what really is spirituality and what caused these barriers between each and every one of us, and what makes me think Ukutimina, because I'm Christian, mine is okay, that one is not okay. What caused all of this? Because there's a cause, you know. So yeah.
What we've just said, this that we've just said, it makes me understand your intellectuality more. What you're saying there is life. People are lost. People have to understand that politics was born from religions and powers. It was born from chieftainship and some certain rulership in kingdoms. Some people wanted to be the ones who are better in the eyes of God than any other people.
But don't you think as Africans we don't read the Bible?
What you are saying, I like it. Everything spiritually, especially in gathering and worshiping, it's gospel. Even this Sangoma whatnot thing, it's gospel on its own. But it needs to be clarified to people as in, how is it gospel?
How are all these connected? Because I believe in the foundation there's a connection to all this. You know, I can be, for example, I'm very, I have a root of Indian and to the core, where my great-grandfather was Indian. You know, when you connect those roots, when you connect the identity of who you are, then you understand that I might be Christian and have a background of Muslim and Islamic and whatever, and have a grandfather who was a traditional healer and whatever. So these things connect. You know why I learned this from my great-grandfather, who was a traditional healer. Before he healed anyone, he had a Bible. He prayed before he throws his bones. That showed that people will say, how can, you know, this thing is, he has to ask God. It's not his powers. He has to ask God. So when he speaks to God, Then he opens up his angels, which are his ancestors. Now they give him a platform to be able to connect with the ancestors of the person that he has to have.
There's something you don't know this morning that I've seen that we haven't realized.
Yeah.
I was supposed to be hosted by some other guy that was hosting me last week.
Yeah.
But he was not here, you are here, you are talking these things. A day is arranged by God and our ancestors. They knew forth that he will not be here. We are going to be here talking this spirituality. You sound in interest in knowing very common with my interest and my know-how of spirituality. Politics.
It's going to 30 seconds. We are going to go in.
Yes. Sanbonani balaleli. Hello everybody in South Africa and the world, Tswane people in particular. It's Kokovula Kundavaloy. That's my name and my spiritual name. Yeah, I'm here at Tswane FM this morning to talk with the people of Tswane and everybody who might be having access or listening to this radio. My birth name on ID, Len Motondevele. My spiritual name that we have got to use the most, Kokovula Kundavaloy. That's the one that I like the most. People, my people, South Africans and the Tswaneans, I'm here today with a topic on spirituality. I was here last, I'm here again. Last I was talking about powers, spiritual powers and rituals. How good, how dangerous, I even touched the Illuminati. And today I'm talking about spirituality. Liking to have people having what you call spiritual information. What is a spirit? What is a spiritual calling? To my understanding and know-how of a person's living, everybody has a spiritual guide. Everybody has spirits in them, in their homes, in their surroundings, in their livelihoods. But now we have derailed from our rightful channels of spirituality for the fact that a lot of different kind of beliefs and religions and different types of spirituality and worship came together. And we as Africans, we lost our spirituality, the true part of it. We lost our traditions, the true part of them. We lost our cultures. And of course, we brought about new cultures. Remember, a culture is something, things that happen in our lives as we live. Cultures change due to situations, due to new things that we discover, due to technologies that come into our lives. But to the true part of everything concerning spirituality, we don't need to change spirituality. We need to be modernized. We need to come into new ways of living and live with the new world order. I cannot say now I have to, in order for me to be an African, I've got to be seen in Amapeshu all the time, and all these traditional and spiritual outfits. I'll only be seen on that one for that cause at that particular time. My people, the Africans, the Tswaneans, I don't know how to call you. I like you people of Tswane. I like this radio as well. It have privileged me to actually come here and talk matters of spirituality, which is our lives. I cry, I mourn and weep that we as Africans, we have lost our identity. We have lost our spirituality. I don't know whether our primitives were savages, that they did not have the knowledge or they did not have some certain techniques to keep what was meant by them being Africans. what we treasured, what they treasured, some they went with. Some they didn't even pass it on to their upcoming generations. When they were doing traditional healing, when they were doing their ancestral worship, they had to do it in the closed doors and hide the doors. And then how do you expect your children to actually remain being them, other than having to change and see other things better than being themselves as Africans? Our young ones have been brainwashed to be the enemies of their Afrocentric systems. They copy the mannerisms of the Western capitals. You will call your mother a demon because now he has passed on. But when I watch my television, I will see the Leonardo DiCaprio was there on the television, the Wesley Snipes. I will see even our local films showing people, the white people, going to the graves to pray there, to do the prayers, to actually try to connect with the spirit of their parents. But when I do that, it is called a demon. I pray, I cry, mourn, and weep that we have lost us. We are the lost and yet to be found. Let me go to spirituality. Amadlozi, ingelosi. You know, these things are more or less the same. The word that you have in English as the Western systems of spirituality, we have it in our African systems. Amadlozi, ingelosi, ancestor spirits, angels. If you hear the stories of these guys, they serve the very same. In spirituality, we have the very same foundation, the very same system. Is it a church, a Western church, a Christianity? Is it a church, the Muslim? Is it a church, the Hindu and other religions that I haven't actually mentioned? Is it an African? They are all directed to one God. But if you come to these guys talking about each other, one says the other is for Satan. He doesn't take you to God. He is the only one who takes you to God. And have God ever come up physically and said, these are mine, these are not mine? Let's not mislead people. Let's not change people who they are for what we want them to be. This has messed up the world. These things I've spoken about, the spiritual divisions, the religious divisions, they are the ones that have given birth to what we call today politics. Because one wants to rule another, even at his own territory. They don't actually recognize the boundaries. They don't actually care how will you suffer to be changed for what we have got to learn to be. Amadlozi. What is amadlozi? Amesangoma. Mina wengoma. He of the drums. He of the soul that when the drums, they are beaten and the sound of the drums evoke and invoke his spirit, and he becomes something. He is taken to a certain state of living which is not worldly, which is not of made of physical earth, this physical earth and the working life, which is of a spiritual stage. Today, I will help people understand what do you become when you have died. I don't understand people die. And I don't actually believe people die. From my reincarnation, I don't die. I'm not dying type. Die if you want. Me, I'm the son of the spirits. I reincarnate. It means as I live now, I will pass on. Passing on, that's the rightful word that will well suit the human parting ways with earth. Because you go to another state of living, which is spirituality. You become a certain spirit. It's only your body that dies. That spirit is called Idlozi, an ancestor spirit. The popes, they become Idlozi when they die. My Messiah, Jesus, when he died, he became Idlozi. But he will be called in a certain way that the Western will have to understand it because they are the engineer of that system. I'm not going to query that because I don't know much of that. But with the dead, everybody who dies becomes an ancestor a spirit. When you talk to some pastors who don't understand reincarnation, they will feel very much offended. They will see you as somebody who is a complete sinner who have to be tormented by the fires. No, you are going to be tormented by the fires for your transgressions of one-on-one, what we call consultations with those bigger monies. You are the one to be burnt with that fire, not me. Because me, I will try to explain myself to justify that I understood, Father God, that everybody who passes on become an ancestor. So when I'm calling my Messiah ancestor, that is not a cry. Amadozi, let me help you. Keep your Amadozi updated through renowned spiritualists who know what they are doing, who can change systems. Your Idozi needs to be helped to help you. Some people are no longer doing things that our forefathers were actually doing, that kept our Amadozi with them, protecting them. Some people, they think they are bewitched. They come to us, may you please kill my auntie. For me, I will pay you. He's bewitching me. All my things are not going okay. No, it's not your auntie or somebody. The witch here in your life is you. How come you don't know what to do, what your forefathers were doing to have their spirits actually guiding them 24/7, full time? But we are not going to blame people for that. Why? We as the spiritualist, we need to give people guidance, as in what do they have to expect or do in order to have the full guidance by their spirits. There is a thing called amanzamnyama. It is when Amadozi have gone astray or derailed, or they've been shifted, that they cannot actually help you. So you need a spiritual medium who knows how to rechannel those Amados. There are even Amados that were not actually made by anybody to shift from that guidance and to be the family a guide, but which are rebel spirits that your forefathers expelled and chased in a certain era of living. But because when you are weak, you are no longer doing things that have got to keep those unwanted away. You are taking everybody against Amados. You don't know which one you are doing. Now you are even offering to a spirit which is a serial killer. You start to have somebody who turns into a serial killer. A rebel spirit, you start to have children who are rebelling home. A spiritual matter is very sensitive. I wish to have a time and maybe spend an hour sitting on this chair helping people understand that they don't need to abandon their spirits. If you are at loggerheads with your spirits, that is worse. Rather, you are at loggerheads with a witch or somebody else, because that one is not in your blood, in your veins. But if you are at loggerheads with your spirits, you are at loggerheads with your shadow. You can't run away from it. Right, my name, spiritual name is Koko Vula Kundabaloi. On Facebook, I'm found as Koko Vula Kundabaloi. Koko Vula Traditional Healer on YouTube. I've got websites. Kokovola.com, www.kokovola.com. My numbers, if one has to want more spiritual information, is it the healing and everything that is of spirituality, you go to 073 037 3093. 073 037 3093. I'll end with an alternative number, which is very easy to memorize. 063 811 1178. I will repeat this one. 063 811 1178. Wrapping up this one, for next time we'll need a better time. We have got shops in Joburg, Newtown, and Wheatbank CBD. We decided to bring about products that people can get to actually minimize the load, because I'm flooded, like with people. I'm consulted with people even from overseas. So I decided to bring about products that you get something that has to attend to your basic problem and intermediate problem. But when you have those heavy problems, that needs me, and then we do consultation. I thank everybody for listening to me at Sunny FM. I will leave it for next time. I'll be here same time, same day next week. Do you know that the lives we live today determines the kind of spiritual beings that we are going to be? You don't go forever. I always have made examples for people with the Truth Commission and Reconciliation. People killed people during this South African bitter politics. But at the end of the day, because a human being doesn't go just like that, we saw people of the likes of Joe Mamasela going, digging shallow graves and revealing everything, every operations that were happening in the flag plus there with the Higgin to Cox being pointed. That showed you that a person's soul will never rest until the right thing and the right sending off of a person has taken place. So that told me that spirituality lives.
I'm going to play another song from your happening in so-called churches. They are not in the Bible. Someone comes to you and say, your father passed away, you don't have a connection with him anymore, he's a whatever. But in the Bible, when you read the Bible and understand the Bible, when God spoke to Abraham, he said, your descendants will have to walk in the path that your father walked in, that your descendants, your great-grandchildren should walk in those paths. Should they not walk in those paths, I will punish them. But I will not be hard on them only because of you, because of the covenant that I had with you. The same when David said to him, you know, people are after me, God, what must I do? I haven't done anything to people, but here they are after me. He said, I will forgive those who are after you. And I will forgive the people that are saying that you took the kingship of Saul and whatever. Because of the covenant that I had with your father. And when someone says your father is gone now, when we have two people that are living within us. It's the external person that I see now and the inner person. These two people, they are controlled by different forces. The inner one is the spiritual. That's the real you. That's the person that God created. That's the person that when we say someone has a purpose, that's that person. The second person inside of you. That's the person that is supposed to live the purpose and guide this outer person of what they have to become. Right now, people say when you say someone is dead, someone is not dead. The body, the outer me is dead. Yes. But the spirit has found a better place to live. It's now with the Creator, with the ancestors, with the, it doesn't matter how you call them, angels, whatever. But still yet to come back through attachment, that person, through reincarnation, as a calling in a person. When God said your descendant has to walk in the steps that you walked in, what does it mean? It means that when my father dies, when he dies, his body is buried. His spirit found his way back to the Creator. Now he's there with his ancestors and the Creator. He has to find his way back. He has to resurrect. Not only Christ resurrect, he has to resurrect through someone in the descendants of his own. That's how you would say, I have Idlozi, it's my father or your grandfather or whoever. That's how the spirit resurrects. Now, when you say a person is dead, they are dead, they have nothing, you know, they don't have anything relationship with me, then why are you still reading the book of John? Why are you still reading about the book of Moses? Why are you still reading about, you know, the kings that were there before Christ? Why are we still even talking about Christ? Because he's dead too. You know, I need people like you. Do you know how much spiritual you are? I need people like you. I've been saying to people, look guys, you are demonizing everything that we actually do. And you say you are doing this from the Bible teaching. You don't know the Bible. No, they don't. Because what you are saying now, the Bible is written on the foundation of the dead.
Because what we've just mentioned there, John is not here, Matthew is not here,
Yes.
Jesus is not
Why
here.
not?
All those people are ancestors. If you believe that those spirits live on, why not the spirits of our people African? Why will those ones pass on and be something else? Why not us?
I remember having an engagement with someone from the ZCC church, and people are being misled. And it's not the leader who is misleading them. You can see the leader is teaching them this. They are teaching themselves the other thing. Because now you follow how the church is organized. Is the founder and the one who came after the founder and the one who is the leader now.
You know,
and every time when he recites, he will acknowledge those two that passed before him. And he has pictures of those two everywhere. Even the person who is a churchgoer has those pictures. But he will say his father he's a demon, or his grandfather he doesn't have a connection. Then what is this?
You are having, from what you have said, you are having a bishop. Bishops are my friend. There's a lot I do. You know this thing of falling. Yes. Fire. Those rituals are purchased for me. If you look at some daily Sun newspapers, but I don't, I mean some articles that were published there with some, sometimes they blow their trumpets scaring each other, you know, in those battles. They fight a lot, those guys, but I don't give names as in that I've heard. These guys, you'll find them telling you, take my sticker. Take my sticker, the sticker of my phone, and put it on your car. You will be guided. But he's having 25 bodyguards guiding him day and night. But you have got to be guided by his
guiding you. If you are guided, but like people who are so lost. And you know, sometimes I don't blame people to be so lost, because you know it's not everyone who's lucky enough to have the wisdom, the spiritual wisdom. And unfortunately we have false prophets, we have false sangomas, we have, you know, these are the people that are actually making too much noise, and they're actually making this thing to be like it's nothing, and they're making Christianity to look bad, they're making traditional things to look bad.
Yet these are one and the same thing, confusing people. Yes. I once have said, people said, are you satanic or what? There is a time when I make it one-on-one with God. What I'll be doing there, I'll be avoiding to take the laws that have been passed by men just to fulfill their own selfish agendas. I was saying, where was God? Something bad had happened to me, and I said, where was God? In the same time, where were these ancestors? Should I be adopted and be maybe how do you pronounce this man, this rich man? Musipe. If I be adopted by Musipe, then forget about being me and this surname of mine, because my ancestors are lazy. My ancestors don't want to work, but the ancestors for that guy works. That's the reason he is at that level. So it means mine are not competent. That's the reason maybe I'm not going to. Where was God? Where was the ancestors? We have had cyclones, he died and whatnot. Now you were having those floods in David. Where was God? When those that doesn't mean I'm protesting the existence of Almighty God. But it's my query to God to say, if you're sleeping, wake up. To tell my Father, you are not doing enough or living by my expectations. It's not a sin, it's not a crime. It's a request, but I'm enforcing it. I'm putting it the other way to enforce it, to make it kind of head. So I said, I'm a firm believer to God, but there are some certain passages of the Bible that I don't use, because they don't, to me, make any sense. Because when you want to actually ask from the managers of the Bible, what does this one mean here? They will interpret it in their own way. And I believe that since the Bible came from there, written and it had to be translated in other languages, a lot of information was put there. A lot of it.
You know what I think?
Because they are, look at Malachi.
Yeah.
If you read Malachi well, you will think God is a monster.
Yeah.
It says everything opposed to the God and this God that we are waiting for, who is a merciful God that is going to actually look after us. So I said, I can believe in God outside the management of any man.
Yeah.